Hey child, and welcome back to my channel. A long time no see, child. I've been in that gym, okay? That 40th birthday right around the corner, and she trying to, and that's why her hair is looking like this, because it's real. When I say the roots, oh baby, they something different, but we'll talk about that in the next video. In this video, I wanted to share a little bit more of my personal side. So this ain't quite Faye in the City. This is Faye the mama that is coming to y'all talking about something that I have shared a little bit of on my channel, but I'm going to share a little bit more in this video, and that is our journey as a family with autism. I'm going to tell you about what made me get him checked out, the processes that I took to get him in therapy, and the things that we have done that have really helped us to see a totally different kid by the grace of God. And so if you're interested in that journey, or if you just want some teaching, pop a squat and let's talk. So again, my name is Faye. If you know her, how you doing? And I am the mother of an amazingly energetic 3-year-old child. When I say straight, just like, you don't sit down. But I have an amazing 3-year-old son, and he is on the autism spectrum. So if you're not familiar, autism does have a spectrum. It could be something where people have like social quirks that you may know of, but then it can also be a lot more debilitating for some people. And I'm sorry if that word is, I don't know the PC stuff to say, okay? But there's a spectrum, and my son is at level 1 of the spectrum. We have been getting him some assistance for a little minute now, and we've seen a totally different kid. Now, what made me get him assistance? So originally he was developing beautifully. I remember I used to hit the table one time and he would hit once. Then if I do 2, he would do 2. And I would just keep doing, he would mimic me a lot. He was doing a lot of the raspberries, and then he said mama, dad. It would be other little things. And then I want to say maybe around 13 to 15 months we started seeing some regression. He wasn't doing as much blabbering. He wasn't saying words. He started avoiding eye contact somewhat. Around this time, I got him in daycare for the first time. He started being a little less social, a lot more withdrawn. And then I noticed a shift in his demeanor to where he would be more angry almost, and I thought it was just like maybe he not sleeping a lot or whatever, which we will get to, because sleep is a huge issue. But we noticed he started seeming a little bit more angry, and then there was anxiety. And what let me know he was dealing with anxiety was he would bite his clothes. Like if he was stressed out, he didn't do it so much more around me, but when I would have to send him to daycare, they started asking for a lot more shirts, because if he was stressed out, he would take the collar of his shirt and bite it, and before they knew it, his shirt would be soaked, and then they'd have to change it, and then he would be right back to biting it. And so it was just like this constant rotation of having to change his shirts. He didn't like textures on his skin. Like if he had on a long sleeve shirt, he would roll his sleeves up. He would roll his pants leg up. He could not keep socks and shoes on because he just did not like the way it felt on his clothing. I mean, on his body. He didn't like that feeling. He became a lot pickier with what he was eating. Like when he was first introduced to baby foods and things like that, I wanted to make sure he was exposed to a lot, so that he wouldn't be like one of those adults that went to fine dining and only wanted chicken nuggets and fries. I ain't judging, I'm just saying I didn't want that to be held. So I was exposing him to a lot of food. So he loved berries, squash, all these different veggies, because I wanted my baby to be healthy. But around that time, he started not being as interested in certain foods. And I was just like, well, this is odd. But then of course, number one, this is my first baby, so I didn't know what was normal, what wasn't, or should I say neurotypical, I will say that. So I didn't know what to expect. But then also at the time, I was going through a divorce, so I wasn't as checked in as I should have been. Baby, I was fighting for, listen, she was fighting for her life. So I was like, maybe it's me, maybe it's my stress. But eventually I got a phone call. The daycare that he was going to, I'm grateful to say my cousin owned it, and one of his daughters was overseeing it. And she called me one day and she said, Faye, I know that when we talked to you about some of his mood swings, you were saying that it could be because his dad is no longer living in the house with you all, but I don't think it's that. Now I will say this, although a daycare worker is not authorized to diagnose your child by any means, I will also say if a daycare worker tells you to get checked out for anything, you need to listen, because they are around kids all day. They see different things, and so if they say go. And so she called me, she said, I'm noticing his anger and his regulation. I believe it's because he's feeling things, but he doesn't have the vocabulary to express it. And so it's coming up with anger, screaming, and like hitting, and so things like that. And she said another thing, which I forgot to mention, was he was starting to take his diaper off. And it was simply because he didn't have the words to tell you, my diaper is wet or my diaper is soiled. So if you turned your back and he was feeling uncomfortable, he took the diaper off. And so she was just saying different things that I'm seeing: his attitude, the diaper, the clothing, the biting of the clothing, the noises that he's making. She's saying, I'm not saying he has autism, but she's saying, I have enough experience with children to know it's looking like it might be autism. And around this time, he was about, I want to say 18 months. And so, no, it was a little earlier. I want to say about 16 months. And so she said, I think you need to talk to his pediatrician. And I'm crying at this point, because even though I'm dealing with stress, I also noticed you're not calling me mama like you used to. My baby used to be an excellent sleeper, and he started fighting his sleep. We used to be able to just put him in the crib and then he would just go to sleep. But I started noticing it would be like midnight, 1 o'clock, and I would still hear him playing in his crib. And I'm just like, why this boy won't go to sleep? Which now I know a lot of children on the spectrum, they can deal with anxiety, they can have digestive issues. It could be a lot of things, but a lot of them, they don't get to sleep as much, or it's harder to get them down, and they're really light sleepers. So anyway, that was something that I noticed as well. So I'm crying because I'm starting to pick up on things, but at the same time I was starting to beat myself up, because as a mother I'm noticing things, but I also started questioning myself because of what I was going through in my personal life. Did I not pay enough attention? Did I not read enough books? Did I not feed him right? I started questioning if the reversal or the not accelerating of his development was something that I did, which now I know, no, that's not the case. It's a genetic thing, and I want to be very clear here, and I'm asking you all to respect this boundary. When I had previously talked about autism, somebody told me, oh, it's because he got vaccinated, and that's not true. And I'm asking you not to say that, because even if that is not the case, say it was hypothetically, which I do not believe it to be true, by saying you got your child vaccinated and that's what caused him to have autism, you shifting blame to the parents, and that's just not okay. And scientifically it's inaccurate, it's genetic. And so anyway, around this time, I'm really picking up on things, especially with the way he is sleeping, because I'm like, there's no reason a 1-year-old should be up at 1 in the morning. Like, that's just not okay. That was the biggest thing for me. And it wasn't that he was inconveniencing me, but I was just like, something's not right. And so as I've shared with you all, my mother, when it comes to education, she is that gal. I'm gonna brag on my mama at every occasion. She is early childhood specialist. She has bachelor's, master's, and her PhD, which respectfully she earned. Okay, she didn't buy it. So, she's done admin, she's been a principal, she's been in different things in education. She's a dyslexia specialist. And so when it comes to education, respectfully, my mama's a master. And so I remember talking to her, as I shared with you all on the channel, and I said, Mama, something going on with my son. And she got quiet. And I said, it's okay, you could be honest with me. And she told me, this ain't grandma talking, this is the educator. She said, I noticed things, but I know you were going through whatever, and I didn't want to stress you out, but we need to get early intervention, especially before he turns 3. It's really good to get started early. And like I said, around this time he was 18 months. And so she let me, because it just so happened that my lease was about to be up, she let me come there with her, especially to give me some help, because it was starting to become a lot. And so I moved with my mom. She started watching him. She gave me some things to do at home, but the first thing she told me to do was connect with Parents as Teachers. So that's the first step. Parents as Teachers is an amazing organization where a actual teacher will come do a home visit with you once a month, and she's not there to tell you about your child. She's there to give you parenting tips to help with your child's development. And we did some talking, and I told her my concerns, and she said, honestly, I see what you mean. And so she said, we are going to do a phone call together, and which was step number 2. We contacted Missouri First Steps. And because it was a teacher contacting them, it really helped. So she gave me some home things to do once a month based off where he was developmentally. She would give me activities that we could do at home together. And I wish I had kept that list. I'm so sorry. But she got me in touch for step 2 with Missouri First Steps. Missouri First Steps is connected with the special school district. And because he qualified for services based off of the initial evaluation, they started doing home visits. And at this time, I found another daycare that was actually willing to take my son. And so they started doing daycare visits there. It was a speech and an occupational therapist, which is what Missouri First Step said he needed. And so they would text me afterwards based off what they experienced and what they did. They would give me activities that he could do. So that helped, but it took a while because initially he did not like them. He was very oppositional. My son is the type, he got to warm up to you. He like his mama, he an introvert, and he got to warm up to you, and if he don't want to talk to you, he not. And so he was very kind of just off them. But what we found was once the daycare closed and he was at home with me being there, he was receptive to services. And so once a week they would come to our home and we would do play therapy. We would use a lot of toys, a lot of books, different things that were to stimulate him as far as sensory. And so this went on up until he was 3. And then once he was 3, we got him, still being in Missouri First Steps, they transferred him over to our local school district for special school district services. And so Monday through Thursday, he gets 3 hours of therapy, speech and occupational. And so they send me home the list of different things that he is doing, and that has helped him. So with us getting early intervention as well as sensory play at home, my mom is amazing at that. We would do like high chair with whipped cream and different things like that. Basically anything to stimulate his senses. It could be so much as going for a walk outside and getting in touch with nature and just allowing him to explore, allowing him to play, allowing him to be around other people, even if we have to limit it for a while because he gets overstimulated. Just allowing him to have new experiences with me being there, we have seen a total change. He has said new words. He hasn't said like a 2-word sentence or anything like that, but he has started saying new words. He has stopped biting his clothing. He has stopped taking his diaper off. We tried potty training. He wasn't quite ready for that yet, but we're gonna get back to it. But he stopped taking his diaper off. His clothes don't bother him anymore. He keeps his socks and shoes on. The way he would scream in anger and just like if he wanted to express himself, he would scream. He has stopped that. It has diminished a great deal. Now of course he's still a toddler, so toddlers do have tantrums from time to time, but the level in which he was doing it, it has become like night and day. And the word that I would use pre-therapy about my son was distress. It seemed like at a certain point in time, once he started regressing, it put him into a state of distress. Like my son would be just kind of tense. But there has been so much growth, and it's because I did not go into denial, and we saw the signs and we got support. Thankfully, my mama was there and she helped me to find the resources that were available that would help my child. So again, everything that I'm saying is applicable to the state of Missouri. We contacted Parents as Teachers, who connected us to Missouri First Steps, and then once he graduated out of First Steps, he went to his local school district. So that has been phenomenal for him. We're seeing so much growth. I actually have a therapy meeting at the end of this week, where we're going to go over what the game plan is for this school year. Just being involved with such active teachers who give me pointers, just like I showed y'all in a vlog, me sending the supplies to the school that they requested. They requested rice, noodles, soap, bubbles, Play-Doh. Everything is to stimulate his senses. That's to try to introduce him to new things. And once he's introduced in a safe space that is regulated for him, he opens up to it. And so we have been seeing so much growth. On my other channel, y'all know I have a spirit or a faith-based channel called Just Fan Faith. I'm going to go in more detail about how it impacted me, because baby, I felt like Joe. What? Listen. So when I say that thing wore me out, okay, all right, like as a parent, as a caregiver to someone who needed a little bit more care, it was a lot. But I'm so grateful that we went through the storm together. We got amazing resources, and my son his smile has returned. My son got a beautiful smile, and he had kind of stopped, and that was a lot. The stress that he was feeling has calmed down. It's good to see my son return, because it was just like I had my baby and then he went away. Like he was physically still there, but the baby that I knew, he disappeared on me. And I'm so glad that my son is back. His smile is back. The life in his eyes is back. The boy laughed at every little thing. His goofiness is back. But I truly believe it was because we got help early. So I do want to say, if you are seeing some things in your child, there's no shame. You didn't do anything wrong. Life happens to everybody. But I definitely encourage you to look into your local state government, your local school district, and see what resources are available. The ones I use, maybe it's available in your state, but the earlier the better. And I'm just so glad that my son, he loves school. I have to pull him off the playground. My son loved playing with his friends, and that means a lot to me, because there was a time he was in daycare. He didn't want to play with nobody. They would send me pictures, and he was always by himself. But God is so good. I got a video from his school, and they was having circle time, and he was involved. It was music day, and I watched him. All the other kids was sitting on the floor, and he was standing next to one of his friends, and he watched what his friend was doing. And so he sat down next to him. He looked at him. He saw his friend drumming. He picked up his drumsticks and he started drumming too. And just to see him doing what other kids are doing, that feels good. So I'm so proud of my son and the work he's been putting in. And like I said, it's no shame. Life happens to everybody, but don't just take it laying down. Do something about it if you can. Look into every resource available. And again, the earlier, the better. I'm so grateful. So grateful to my mother. I'm grateful to parents as teachers. I'm grateful to Missouri First Steps, because those excellent resources help to bring him out of his shell. And it's a totally different kid. And as he begins to say more and do more, I'm really grateful to see that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that, because I will admit, when things first happened, there was a lot of shame and a lot of fear, because I'm just like I said, he was withdrawn. He didn't want to be around anybody. He only wanted to be around me, which was a lot for me. He didn't want anybody else to pick him up. He didn't want to play with nobody. It was as if I was his security blanket. And so to see him embracing the world, to play with friends and things like that, I truly believe, number one, God's faithfulness, and number two, these excellent resources, they really helped. So if you are dealing with that, please don't let fear grip your heart. Please don't let shame take you over. Please don't start replaying questions in your mind about, what if I did this? Did this happen? Don't do that. just know life happens to all of us. Nobody is exempt. And while somebody else, their child might not deal with autism, their child might be dealing with something else. We all got something. These kids don't drive everybody crazy, okay? That's just facts. But there is help available. And so those are the steps I took. And I pray that it is beneficial to you as well. Missouri first steps. So see if y'all got something in y'all state. And then parents as teachers, but definitely parents as teachers, because they are available around the country. So yeah, I hope that me sharing helps a parent that is on the fence, that may be like, you know, that it's scary. It's scary because nobody wants their child to be othered. As I said, life happens to everybody. It's what you do about it that counts. So the sooner the better. And if it has been a while, if your baby is above the age of 3, that's okay too. As soon as you can, tap into every resource you can and see if you can help your baby's quality of life. But here's the thing, every life is a blessing. And I want to make that very clear. So while my son has been experiencing change and growth and all of that, if your child never says a word, if your child stays nonverbal, if your child does not experience the neurotypical growth or development milestones, that baby's still a blessing. You understand me? You still ain't did nothing wrong. Life is still available to you. And yes, it is stressful. And I don't care what nobody say. It is stressful to be a caregiver. It is stressful to have that on your shoulders. But I pray your strength. And I pray that you find joy. I pray that you have a lot of good support. Definitely even look into the state, because for some, I found out while we didn't necessarily qualify, there are some states that will allow care to come to the home so the parent can get a break, because sometimes you need that too. Okay, so anyway, that has been my journey. I pray that you know that you're not alone in case you're dealing with this. You're not abnormal. It's just life gone life. But we're gonna pray that God be God and give you strength and grace for the journey. So that was it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I love y'all. Maki Dada, and I'm out this piece. Let me go get my makeup together, because I'm supposed to be filming a bulk of videos and I didn't cry. Girl, look at, let me fix my face. I love y'all. Bye.